Live from your trusted local news source. KCRG News starts now.
Hello and welcome to the KCRG-TV9 News at 6. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I am Becky Phelps, joined here by Lacey Reeves. Lacey, you went to a story we've been covering pretty heavily the last couple of days. It is a huge deal here in Eastern Iowa, the free dental clinic that comes every year.
Yeah, it is so much bigger than I thought. I knew it was going to be big, but when I got out there this morning and I could see the line going outside the building, I knew I was in for a lot of people.
You were in Coralville, correct?
Yeah, it was in Coralville this year. Last year it was in Sioux City, so it's back in Eastern Iowa this year.
Wow, okay, so you tell me when you first rolled up on the scene, like how many people were you seeing there?
Oh, there was probably at least 30 or 40 in line. I seen one gentleman who had a lawn chair, and so he was the one I ended up going up to talk to. So
Lawn chair, ready to wait in line.
Yes, he was ready, yes. Actually, there were people camping out on, I believe it was Thursday night, waiting to get in there Friday. So, yeah, some of these people definitely wanted to make sure they got in and got their chance.
So the man that you spoke to, how long had he been waiting for?
At least 2.5 hours. At one point, he told me he'd been out there since 8, and he said, yeah, I believe it's like 9:30 right now. And I looked at my phone for the time, and it was 11. So he'd been out there quite a while.
Wow. And what was he hoping to get done at this clinic?
Yeah, he wanted some teeth pulled. He has a goal to get dental implants, which is a permanent solution to what a dentures would be like. So he wanted to get multiple teeth pulled at a time, so that way he could plan for that in the future.
Wow. It really, we're going to show some video that you shot earlier this morning. It seems, very busy. Is that him in the lawn chair?
Yes, it is. That is him.
There he is in the lawn chair.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, a lot of people working. Who is, staffing this, I suppose? But they're volunteers, correct?
Yeah, they are. These are dentists who are certified, donating their time. Some of these are dental students at the University of Iowa who aren't certified yet, but they're helping patients go to the right area. They had it set up where people had a waiting area, and they had like a hygiene area. They had an area for restoration. So everybody kind of had their own spots. That way the dentists that had those specialties could do what they're best at.
Wow. And a lot of people packed in here, a lot of people waiting in line. How many people were they expecting to help over, Friday and Saturday?
Well, there's definitely hundreds there today. I think they're expecting to help over 1,000 people, which is, maybe it doesn't sound like that much, but when you're there and seeing it, it is.
I mean, you can see the wide variety of things that they have offering there. There's so many tables and chairs set up. This is really something that is in such high demand every time it comes to the area. And it really is easy to see. This is such an important resource for people.
Yeah, it is so important. I think people sometimes might forget that health starts in the mouth, and really if your dental health declines, you're prone to infection that can start to affect the rest of your body and eventually get to some organs if it gets that much.
Yeah, and dental care is often a service that is so expensive also. This being a free clinic, did the man you talked to speak about that at all, how big of a deal that was?
Yeah, he believed he'd be saving thousands of dollars today, so he was definitely down to wait for all that time. It was definitely worth it to him. And Becky, something else that was really great is sometimes we find here in Eastern Iowa there might be a language barrier to receive services, but we had people here who were translators. They weren't specifically translators, they were in the dental care field and just also happened to speak another language. So that way some of the patients were able to communicate freely with that translator, and it was really neat to see just how many of them were able to use that skill to help others for that.
That's another thing you don't often think about, what a barrier language can be and how difficult. Dentist's office, for me personally, already pretty stressful, but I can't imagine having to, wonder, are they going to speak my language?
Yeah, they had translators were with them every step of the way from the beginning. I noticed some of the languages were Spanish, Arabic, Swahili, and what they did was really smart. They had vests, and then they had the name of the language on the back. So that way they could easily recognize if somebody spoke their language.
Amazing. Okay, Lacey, thank you so much for sharing that and your full story running tonight in the KCRG-TV9 News at 10, so you can tune in for her full story. Thanks, Lacey. Next, we are going to talk about a very unusual sight at the downtown Cedar Rapids Farmers Market this morning. It was the final market of the year, and they were looking to break a record, a very Cedar Rapids record. The most people eating cereal at the same time. We're going to show you. So this was 2,410 people all coming together in Green Square Park to break the record for the largest cereal breakfast. This is a Guinness World Record, apparently. I'd never heard of it, but it looks like a blast. So more than 2,000 people all had to take a bite of Crunch Berry cereal at the same time. This broke the old record by more than 500 people, and that record was set a long time ago, actually, back in 2016 in Lebanon, and that record was with 1,852 people. So really shattering the record here this morning. Cedar Rapids Mayor Tiffany O'Donnell also proclaimed today as Cereal Day. So maybe some more celebrations annually, we'll have to see. Our next story comes from Iowa City. A basketball court in Iowa City has a pretty nice makeover. We're going to show you. A group of local artists put 6 weeks into decorating this mural. It's sea-themed, as you can tell, and there's a little Caitlin Clark reference right there. 6-week graphic design course. This was all led by the nonprofit, the Wright House of Fashion, which is based in Iowa City. And the founder said that the goal is to lead young artists in the community to finish more public projects like this.
From that experience, they were able to gain that skill and get excited just about design, because I think that's the first step, is being excited about something, and now that they have this new set of tools, they can use them for various things throughout the community.
They're really hoping to partner with Iowa City Parks and Rec, and today you can see they broke in the new mural with a 3-point contest. So giving it some action there. You can watch Jackson Valenti's full package about that basketball court coming up on the TV9 News at 10. Right now we're going to take a break, and then we'll come right back with weather.
Showers, and we are seeing an isolated shower or two across our northern counties around Decorah and Fayette. But if we zoom out here and get a look at the larger scale picture of what is going on, we are going to see that there's a larger storm system that is kind of spinning around this the upper Midwest, and it's that larger storm system that's kept our weather so active for the last several days. It hasn't really moved all that much. In fact, we've been in a fairly stagnant weather pattern, and that's what's going to continue to keep us or in this pattern rather of hit or miss showers as we go through the next several days. It's also been a little bit of a gloomy Saturday. You can see right there more clouds than sun across Cedar Falls, Dubuque, Iowa City, and Cedar Rapids, and that's also kept our temperatures a little bit cooler than we have seen the last couple of days. Right now, 70 in Charles City, 72 in Cedar Rapids and Manchester. Of course, you remember this time last week, it was in the 90s for temperatures.
It was ridiculous. This feels at least a little bit more like close to fall. The 90s was sweltering.
It was, and it was one of those where it was late enough in the year, everybody was starting to get used to those cooler temperatures we'd had. And those 90s, they hit like a truck. And
the humidity, though, has not gone away.
It has not, and that's another part of the reason we've seen those passing showers here or there. It's kept us from having that really crisp fall-like feel, but the temperatures being what they are, it's kept it more comfortable. So perfect, no, but certainly better than it has been. Or certainly better than it was this time last week, we'll say that.
100% agree, yes.
Absolutely. We'll take the showers and we'll take the humidity any day. Now, as we go through the next couple of hours, we're going to see those temperatures drop a little bit. We'll still keep a little bit of a humid feel to the air, but overall our air temperatures will be falling, which will of course make it feel a little bit cooler out there as well. We can't rule out a stray shower as we go through the evening and overnight hours, especially areas south of Highway 30 and really at this point south of Interstate 80. The rest of the area looking at relatively dry conditions as we go through the overnight hours. And for the start of your day on Sunday, you're going to notice two things. One, lots of cloud cover, but also that chance for some patchy fog. So from a couple hours before dawn until a couple hours after dawn on Sunday, you're going to want to especially watch out in those low-lying areas around creeks and river bottoms where that fog can collect. And if you drive through a fog bank, just slow down, turn on your low beams, and allow plenty of following and stopping distance for vehicles around you. Another relatively gloomy day for the first half of your day on Sunday. And then as we get into your afternoon, we'll see that sun come back out more so than it has this afternoon. By the time we get to sunset tomorrow, we'll be looking at mostly sunny skies. An isolated shower or storm could pop up, but for most of the area, it's going to be fairly dry as we wrap up your weekend and head into the start of a new week. And tomorrow, those clouds, again, keep our temperatures a little bit cooler. So overall, a mild day. We'll still have that humidity sticking around and those temperatures in the mid to upper 70s. So kind of working towards that fall feel. It's a step in the right direction. Again, looking at this time last week, we're certainly cooler. Still a little warmer than normal, though. Our temperatures running a few degrees warmer than average and will continue to for the next couple of days. But we're also going to keep that off and on shower chance around. As we go into your Monday afternoon, another chance for some scattered shower activity, another scattered chance on Tuesday as well. But if you were watching there, you'll notice a lot of dry time in between those rounds of showers. So not a complete washout, but we do have to keep those rain chances in your first alert forecast for that reason. Now, once we get to Wednesday, that activity starts to migrate south a little bit. And as it does so, it's going to give us a bit of a break from these daily spotty shower chances. So that change will be arriving, and you'll see that in your 9-day forecast. Wednesday at this point looking like more clouds than sun, but as we get to the end of the upcoming week, very nice conditions overall. We're going to see those temperatures in the mid to upper 70s as we get to next weekend, and you'll notice your overnight lows as well, going from 60 tonight down closer to 54 as we get to the end of the week. That's a sign of your dew points dropping as well. So a little less humidity in the air, going to feel a little more comfortable and a little more fall-like as we get to the end of the week.
That feels like a huge, huge win. To not just get the temperatures down a little bit, like 77, you know, it's still like nice outside. You could probably still wear shorts and a sweatshirt. Like it's nice out there. But not having that humidity is going to feel like a huge difference.
It absolutely is. And you'll really feel it in the mornings too. When you step outside, the air is going to be crisp. It's going to be cool. It's going to really start to feel like fall. So it's going to be nice. Hopefully we'll keep that around for the foreseeable future. Of course, I will be the bearer of bad news.
Oh no.
We can still get warm days into the middle and upper 80s in October.
I was worried you were going to say
year.
something about snow.
Oh,
I was
no.
catastrophizing.
Not yet. Not yet.
Don't worry, it could still be hot.
Exactly. It can still be hot for you summer lovers out there. We'll still have some weeks coming up where we can get warm again. For you fall lovers out there that are craving those cold temperatures, we're getting closer to that time of year where it will start to get chilly. And of course, the winter is a long, long cold winter up here. So
People say they want cold temperatures, but nobody really wants to go to a pumpkin patch when it's like 45 degrees.
Right.
Nobody wants that.
No,
Nobody wants to pick apples in that weather.
exactly. Go when it's in the 50s and 60s. It's nice and comfortable. You can throw a hoodie on or a jacket and not
Exactly.
be shivering.
All right, we'll cross our fingers for that.
Absolutely.
All right, coming up next, we will have sports. Stay with us. Welcome back. Collin joins us now with sports. Now, Iowa State's on a bye, but there's still plenty of going on.
Yeah. Iowa played this past Friday night, but what we'll start with is actually today, Co-College Division III Power having their home opener. They took on Nebraska Wesleyan today, and boy, did they provide some highlights, which we'll take a look at for these. It was a good game for the Co-Hawks, and we start off, how about Brady Kelly, deep ball to Devin Kolash for a house call on their first possession of the game. The Prairie Wolves would tie it up, and you got to check this out. Julius Gurman flashing the glove.
Whoa!
Whoa. It wouldn't count
What
due
was
to a
that?
penalty, though. It didn't count due to a penalty,
No.
but it was still pretty darn cool. Kelly takes advantage of getting the ball back, a moon ball to Latrell Taylor, makes it 14-7 for Co. And a little later in the second quarter, Kennedy alum Jaron Centers gets a touchdown reception. How about this? We have a little bit of trickery come out. Taylor takes the backwards pass, goes deep to Centers, who makes the catch and then fumbles at the 1 yard line and it goes out of the back of the end zone.
This is so dramatic.
For a touchdown. But no worries, because Co would have plenty more where that came from. They go on and win 62-14. A big bounce back win for them, because they did have that loss to the 12th ranked team in the country on the road last week. So they showed out in front of the home crowd. You can't really complain about that if you're those home fans, being able to see that team play for the first time.
This is quite the show that they're putting on.
Yeah, it was
my gosh.
an unbelievable. We were just watching that game.
I want to see the one-handed catch again, because
The interception.
All right, hold on.
Yeah.
Let's.
I was so upset when the refs pulled
see
out
this
the
again.
flag. Here you go. And we'll have it in slow-mo pop up.
What?
Yeah. The refs threw out the flag. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me.
Oh my gosh,
Oh,
this is.
yeah.
If you can do that, I
That's
know
quite
that's
the
not a
fruit
popular
story.
opinion, but I feel like that should count.
Oh yeah. I was very. It was in Co's favor, but they didn't need it. They won.
They didn't need it.
62-14.
They did plenty of other
Just let the
impressive
play
things.
stand. That goes on Sports Center Top 10 tonight. You know.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. It
Wow.
was unbelievable type plays going on, especially that trick. So funny part about this trick play. So he fumbles at the one.
Mm-hmm.
They went ahead to that same trick play to the opposite side, and it was an incompletion on the very next drive.
They did the same
Yeah.
thing.
So they got an interception. They got the ball back at the very first play. They did the same thing to the other side, but it was incomplete.
Wow, they're just getting their reps
Yeah.
in here.
Yeah, I mean, when they put up those numbers like they did today. Now we'll go from Co-College to that Iowa game, that that 38-28 win for Iowa last night.
I was watching last night.
Oh, yeah.
And I had one eye on the TV and one eye on our conversation with some friends, but it was a little tense. There were a lot of,
Yeah.
I was at Pickle Palace. Some loud cheering, some loud booing.
Yes, it was a back and forth game. Like, it was no one thought that Iowa and Rutgers was going to beat that. 38 points from Iowa's offense from what we've seen from them
Yeah.
so far
Pretty
this
good
season.
for Iowa.
Yeah, they just kind of keep steadily improving because week 1 against Albany, I was like, uh-oh, what's going on with the offense here? And then the Iowa State game was a little bit better, but still rocky. And then the UMass game, they really improved. And against Rutgers, it showed out against an actual good team on the road. And I believe that was an attendance record for Rutgers, for their school. So it was a big game on the road, and Iowa put up 38 points. And Mark Gronowski was very good in that game. 241 total yards, 3 rushing touchdowns, and the defense. And Caden Weegan, a Williamsburg kid, also
I've heard that name a lot.
Yeah,
this
he had
season.
another return touchdown last night. So for him, it's just this special teams and offense made up for what the defense was like, and this is what Mark Gronowski had to say.
I mean, they'd go score, we'd go score, they'd go score, we'd go score. We just had to keep answering. The offense was in great rhythm today. And there's one thing that we kind of keep talking about is just being the reason. Sometimes the offense is going to have to be the reason sometimes this year. And I felt like today we made a great effort towards that, and we had a great first half.
So pretty good news for the Hawkeyes to be able to see that from their quarterback, and where the defense had been so good throughout the start of the season, where they lapsed a little bit. The offense special teams was able to pick up for him. And it was also good for the defense. They did rebound. They let up 21 points in the first half, but then they only let up 7 in the second half. So I think no one will have to worry about the defense. And a big thing was Mark Gronowski, those 3 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah.
He's a dual threat quarterback, and he's been able to put that on display. And here's what Kirk Ferentz had to say about that.
So that's a bad thing for a defense, so it puts stress on them. And then a guy that can break contain and keep looking to throw, which Mark does, is really good. We don't necessarily want to. I think we're in the teens here tonight. I don't think that's necessarily the plan, but you do what you got to do to win games too. But it's one more thing for a defense to worry about. And I've said it before. We don't necessarily go out looking for a guy who can run, or we just want good quarterbacks. And Mark happens to have a skill set that's pretty versatile.
So they'll go ahead and take that any day of the week. For Gronowski played well. Kamari Malton came back in as a running back and got on the score sheet as well. So really good things offensively from them. I think their defense will bounce back. They have Indiana next week, and Indiana's a highly ranked team. So that's a big game. That's a big game. So it was good Friday night action. Prefer they play on a Saturday instead of on Saturday, but
That's true.
I know.
This gives us everybody some space,
Yes.
Let College shine a little bit.
Yeah, yes.
Give everyone a little bit of the spotlight. Now, is that Indiana game, is that at home?
Yes, yeah, that'll be at Kinnick. So that's a big one next week. And then UNI plays tonight against Utah Tech at 7 o'clock. That's a big game for them. Utah Tech has had some really close games. They're 0-3, but very close games against 3 teams that were ranked at the time.
Okay, so maybe a bit of a challenge for you.
Yeah, should be good.
Thanks, Collin, so much. And thank you for joining us for this edition of the KCRG-TV9 News at 6. We'll have lots of news, weather, and sports coming up on the TV9 News at 10 tonight after football. Please join us then. Until then, have a great evening.